Hey, I am Frederick, and I am an adult who just graduated college not too long ago. And today I want to talk about how I sued McDonald's, and for good reason. Now, a few minutes from where I live, there is a small McDonald's restaurant. It doesn't get too many visitors a day, but it gets a decent amount. There are about 9 people in the staff, all of them are slightly underaged, and they can cook up and serve you anything on the menu in just 1 minute. They also claim that their food was the best out of any McDonald's in my state, until now. One day I went to the McDonald's and asked the waiter, who had messy brown hair and a beard that looked like it hadn't been shaved in 4 months, for a Big Mac. The waiter said, with an amused look,
"Alright, that'll be 1 Big Mac, just wait a few, okay?"
I nodded and then waited for the Big Mac. When I got it, I decided to check it out before eating it, so I checked what was inside of the burger. After lifting up the top bun, I saw a bloody band-aid and some hair layered below said band-aid in it. That wasn't normal, so after removing them, I tasted the burger, and it tasted different too. It had a weak aftertaste of something metallic, and so I went to the waiter and said, "Hey, why is there a band-aid and hair in my Big Mac? And why does it taste weird too?" The waiter, however, did not stir. Usually the waiter would explain why the order was like the way it was, but here there was no explanation as to why the Big Mac ended up the way it did. I decided to throw the Big Mac out and go home. I wanted to sue McDonald's, but instead I decided that I would investigate the staff rooms and cooking area to see if there was anything off in there. That night I drove over to the McDonald's and saw that it was closed. I then remembered that it wasn't an open 24 hours restaurant. You think I wouldn't prepare to go into the McDonald's without being arrested, but I was prepared. I brought my flashlight and a sweater since it was usually cold where I was at night. Once I got in the McDonald's, I turned my flashlight on and checked around. I noticed a cabinet that looked half open, so I opened it, and I was met with something horrifying. There were 2 jars, both large in size. One of the jars was filled with hair of all different colors that was labeled with a black Sharpie. It simply read, "hair." The other jar was filled to the brim with band-aids. It was labeled, "used band-aids we found from the sidewalks." I wanted to gag profusely after seeing this. Is this what they put on my food? What restaurant would purposefully put hair and band-aids into people's food? Did this McDonald's hire sickos? Those questions filled my head as I checked another cabinet. The second cabinet made me gross out even more. There was a jar full of a red sauce, which looked like it was probably mixed in with ketchup, with a slime-like texture. Then I read the captioning. It said in black marker, "Bloody organ ketchup." I screamed, "What the fuck," out loud. I closed both cabinets, turned off the flashlight, and ran out of the McDonald's as fast as I could. What I had just seen changed my opinions and feelings about that McDonald's forever, but it also made me wanna really sue the daylights out of them now. I nearly wanted to throw up, but I kept it in for a reason. What if they used my vomit in the food as well? I had a hard time sleeping with the events that had happened, and a harder time for my mind to answer the bizarre yet gross questions that were made from what I had witnessed. The next day, I wrote a negative review towards the McDonald's on Google Maps and noticed that it had gotten similarly negative reviews. Turns out I wasn't the only one to have had a terrible meal and weird service, but I was the only one to see the real picture. So I eventually sued McDonald's, and it closed about a week after I sent in the review. The staff in the McDonald's were arrested by the police and brought to justice. However, what they were charged for made me understand why I saw the stuff in the cabinets. The staff in question was charged with multiple cases of murder, as they had murdered many people, kept their organs and blood, and hid them so that nobody would notice. They were also charged with cannibalism, as they allegedly ate a few of the people they murdered and thought it would go with a burger. The staff were probably twisted freaks, I thought to myself, after seeing the criminal charges of the staff. After I sued McDonald's, a few of my friends came to my house to leave me gifts and thank you letters for doing the right thing. Although we didn't have a McDonald's nearby anymore, I, an average citizen, was happy that I sued McDonald's the right way, rather than suing them the wrong way for having long wait times and not getting the order right like most Karens would do. And that is how I sued McDonald's.